What up, what up? This is the Literacy Kings podcast, man. Appreciate y'all checking us out for another episode. Today we busting down, make sure ain't no glare on it. I want you to see A Beginner's Guide to Bitcoin, man. A Beginner's Guide to Bitcoin by Matthew Kratter. It's a hot topic. It's a hot topic. Everybody talking about it. Hustlers is gambling and gamblers is hustling. You know what I'm saying? What you call it, Jay?
Digital dice games.
Digital dice games. You know what I'm saying? Who'd have ever thought, man?
Digital dice games.
They done took pitch out the bathroom. They done took pitch and dice out the bathroom and the back gym. And now they doing it online, man.
Come on, man.
You feel
Everybody,
me?
they doing it.
Yeah, so say, man, we're going to jump straight into it today. We're getting into the first chapter of A Beginner's Guide to Bitcoin. The book is super, super thin, man. We read this book in a day. It only took like a couple of hours, so y'all can go grab the book and check it out.
That don't mean it ain't quality.
It's quality, though. It's fire. You know what I'm saying? It's a shot. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it's a shot. And so today we're going to get into understanding Bitcoin. We're going to talk about hard money versus soft money. We're going to talk about gold and its relation to Bitcoin. We're going to get a little into cryptocurrency because cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is not the same thing.
No.
Right?
People, it's like, you know, when you have a product and it becomes so, the brand becomes so big.
Yep. Like Q-Tip or Xerox.
Coke.
Or Coke.
All right.
Yeah.
If I got a Coke. What kind of Coke? Oh, a grape one.
Right.
You're talking about a grape soda, but they call it a Coke.
Exactly.
Because of that branding is so good. I think that's what's going on with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is so, its branding is, you're starting to see it so everywhere that they think Bitcoin is
everything.
Like that's crypto is Bitcoin.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's how
we're going to get into that and talk about the market cap of Bitcoin as well. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. Today's show is going to be potent. Before we get to it though, Jay, with the NBA, how you feeling, baby?
Feeling good, man. You know, capitalize off Dogecoin, you know. Feeling great.
Dogecoin is a hustle, man.
Hey, man, it was a hustle for me.
Elon Musk, man.
You know, I can shoot dice too.
yeah. That's real. So, man, we're going to get into it. You know what I'm saying? All right, jumping off the porch. Is Bitcoin actually money? That's the question. Is Bitcoin money? Because my father-in-law said, he like, hey, man, what if everybody wake up tomorrow and say, hey, man, this ain't real. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, depends on your definition of money.
It's good. That's good.
According to chapter 2.
Yeah.
I mean, season 2.
Season 2, yeah.
Literacy Kings. It depends on your definition of money. This won't be the most weird thing that has ever been money.
At all.
Not even close.
Yeah, at all.
You know what I'm saying?
All.
The Dutch had tulips. You know what I'm saying? They had agri beads in Africa. Like, this one, Bitcoin won't be the most weird thing.
Yeah, that's
money. It's not.
They say they did a lot more with a lot less.
Right.
Yeah.
And remind you, the dollar's not the only currency that's ever been in America. We had Continental Congress before Civil War. Like, it's not the only thing.
Yeah, that's good. So, okay, quick run through. Bitcoin. It's a new form of digital money. It was invented by Satoshi Nakamoto in 2009. Who is Satoshi Nakamoto? We don't know. Could be a person.
That's an alias.
Yeah. So it's an alias. So what they got, a pseudonym. You know what I'm saying? It could be a group of people. You know what I mean? We don't know.
Could be the feds.
It could be China. That's what some people say. Some people say it could be China. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. Nobody knows. Bitcoin is a open source protocol. All right. So Bitcoin is an open source. What does that mean? An open source protocol. Bitcoin is the product of a program.
Correct.
The program says, if you solve this math equation in this amount of time, then everybody else that's running this program has to agree that you got the answer right, you solved it right, and if they all agree, then according to this program, you will be rewarded with a Bitcoin.
Yep.
Okay? So that's how it goes. All digital. Somebody try to come up and sell you a physical Bitcoin, Don't do it.
Man, you're getting finessed. Don't you
Don't
do it.
Don't do it. That's a dummy. You know what I'm saying? It's no such
dummy
thing.
brick. All flour. This gold metal flour. You better not buy that.
Yeah. It's not real. Okay. So that's Bitcoin. Now let's not get too deep. I just want to give a little, tap of what it is. Now, the author talks about how, Bitcoin is often seen as a bubble. Right?
Ponzi scheme.
Scam. Yeah. And so he likens it to the .com era. And Amazon was considered a bubble, right? He mentions real bubbles, which were the Tulip. Like you were talking about.
1600s.
Yeah, Tulipmania, right? And so that's the big question is it actually money or is it not money? He says here, Amazon crashed over 90% in the early 2000s and then came roaring back to all-time highs in the early 2010s, right? Even Bezos talks about, I can't remember, some big publication wrote the article, Amazon is toast.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh boy.
They were wrong. They were wrong. So that's what Bitcoin is, right? And so moving into the kind of meat of where we're going to be today is we're going to be getting into hard money and soft money, and the author kind of used gold as the
grounding point.
To
help explain.
Jay with the NBA.
What before we move on, the last thing he said about Amazon, he said Amazon and Bitcoin are similar because they are trying to, when you try to evaluate Amazon, you're trying to evaluate Bitcoin, you're trying to price a new reality.
Ooh.
So
hold on.
Yeah, okay. All right. I ain't gonna skip over it. I got a habit of just of just dropping bombs and just keep it moving. This is my days in the Air Force, man. We just drop bombs and keep it moving.
Hold on. Please explain.
You're trying to price a new reality. Digital currency, cryptocurrency, unregulated, decentralized money. This is uncharted territory.
Right.
They're used to having government control.
Right. Because
the government was the ones who were printing the currency, and since they was doing that, that's where all the manipulation came from. But if it's decentralized, it's truly, like Robert Kiyosaki says, the people's money.
Right.
Where no one's controlling it. It's unregulated. It's raw. It's fresh off the boat. Ain't nobody stepped on it.
Yeah,
it's
no
unprocessed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that scares people. It scared them. I think we're past the part where it scares the government. They still have fear a little bit, but it's not how it was. Now they realize you can't stop it. So it's like get down or lay down. And they choosing to get down now.
Exactly.
You're going to see can't beat them, join them.
Exactly. Like they've done with everything else. Alcohol, marijuana.
So you're trying to, it's a force of nature.
That's good. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Carry on.
So you're trying to price. How can you value that?
We don't.
Like, how can you value? How can you value the internet when the internet first came out? You know what I'm saying? It's a force of nature.
Didn't have no idea, because the things that will take it to these heights where the projected price becomes reasonable haven't yet been created or you know what I'm saying, mass adapted. You know what I mean?
Correct.
You know what I mean? So you don't know, you thinking of the internet, and I've seen documentaries back in early 90s, late 80s, where they're asking people in essence about the internet. And they're just kind of like, why? What do you need all of that for, man? Like it seems unnecessary. It's like saying, hey, you want the spaceship? That's how they was responding. Like, what am I gonna do with all?
Like that old Verizon commercial when they had their first cell phone.
Yeah.
And that old Verizon commercial. Like, you really didn't understand. Like, you see this thing right here?
Right.
Like, what is this?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, man.
You
You can't put a value on anything. That's what's exciting and that's what's scary at the same time.
At the same time.
Yeah. So it's very similar to Amazon. Like, who would have known that a small online bookstore would be, $3,500 a share now?
Not in a million years, bro.
You know what I'm saying? After it crashed in the 2000s, it came roaring back in 20. Amazon is still fairly new. If you look at how old a company is, 20 years, 21 years, that's not a long time.
Mm-hmm. No.
The life of a company.
Not when you got companies like Gillette. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's
General Electric.
General Electric. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Coca-Cola. You know what I mean?
So it's like, you can't, but look at the numbers they put up during COVID. Look at how, bro, people just want to order online now. They like killing things, bro. It's just.
And then here's something that, think about Amazon. Amazon is also used for search. Sometimes I'll think about, like, if I want to buy something, say I'm like, oh, I want to buy, a book about Bitcoin. I'll go to Amazon and type in Bitcoin book and see what come up, because it's going to show me the ratings automatically.
Yeah,
see, if I Google it, I can see the books, but then I got to click and read and see what Amazon going to tell me right off top what's rated, how many ratings. So not only are they e-commerce, they becoming a search platform with, come on, man.
Whole consumer experience, period. So you can't, that's the thing you can't, but how do you quantify that?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. It says, he says, it is the market trying to figure out a fair value of a new form of money. That's why he said, thus, in order to understand Bitcoin, we need to understand exactly what exactly money is and how it functions.
Season 2.
Right? So, in season 2, I was talking about, is money divisible? Is it portable? Is it trustworthy?
Mm-hmm.
Is it, the characteristics of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Matthew Kratter, he goes into those things, and he likens it to gold, but the digital version of gold.
Right, and that's where we at right here.
Yeah, and that's where we are now.
So, gold is such good money, in fact, that much of it has disappeared from circulation. Most of it is sitting in central bank vaults and Scrooge McDuck swimming pools. All right, so he gets into gold, and he talks about hard money versus soft money.
Right.
Okay. So let's go ahead and we'll just run through the things that makes. This is season 2, so this is a kind of a refresher recap. If you're a Literacy King listener, be thinking already what hard money is the same as good money. All right. So what are some things that make it hard money or good money? You be seeing if you can answer it before we say it.
Pop quiz.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, pop quiz. Yeah. And Jay, go ahead and break it down, or just name off. You know what I'm saying? What make it what?
Okay. Is number one? Is it a medium of exchange? Because in order for it to be a currency, it has to be a medium of exchange.
Okay, meaning that
because we're not bartering anymore, we're not trading asset A for asset B. So it has to be a medium of exchange. You have to be able to trade an asset for this particular currency, and then use that currency to buy asset B that you want.
Boom. Okay, so medium of exchange.
Right. In order for it to be a medium of exchange, it has to be trustworthy.
Trusted.
Right. And in order for it to be trustworthy, it has to be an unlimited supply.
Limited.
And it also has to be divisible.
Divisible.
Right.
You gotta be able to bust it down.
And it has to be portable. What was the last one?
Durable.
Yeah.
Has to also be durable.
So
it's good.
Everything. If you look at gold, everything that we name, gold is. But where, interesting enough, where Bitcoin has it beat is, number one, divisibility. Portability. Yeah. I would say that's the most
See, I think it's important. Gold, like you said, gold is technically all these things.
Correct.
it's not the easiest.
It's not the easiest way.
At all of them, right? At portable and divisible. You know what I'm saying? Verifiable. Like you can't easily verify, you know what I'm saying, whether this is real gold or fake gold off the muscle. It can be. It's not.
But it's a process.
It's not as easy. Versus the dollar, it's none of these things. Right? It's not.
We said it was Shaq from the free throw line. It was 3 out of 6. We were 50% from the field.
When he talked about
yeah. We 50% from the field.
That's good.
And the dollar is soft money.
Right. Soft money, bad money, weak money.
And what Matthew Kratter says is that hard money, soft money drives out hard money.
Every time.
Hard money goes into hiding.
Yeah.
People hoard it.
Yeah.
So when I think about what people are doing with their wallets, their digital wallets, they're taking it like what I'm doing with my digital wallet. I'm taking my Bitcoin out of circulation.
Facts.
All right, just like it's the same thing I do with gold and silver that I have the physical bars and that. It's the same thing. I'm taking it out of circulation.
Yeah.
This is just the digital version
of doing that.
Yeah.
So a good so here's something dope we talk about all the time about, you know, money, good money or hard money being limited. And so the thing with gold is you can't make the earth yield more gold. We talked about that. Right. So it says higher gold prices do not lead to a huge supply of new gold hitting the market. Historically, the supply of gold has increased by only 1.8% every year.
So normally when things are higher price, people sell, which makes either two things. Either people sell, which adds that gold back to the supply, or people mine more, or they find a way to run up that supply.
Right.
With gold, you can do. People tend to do neither. You can't really do it. It's only going to yield a certain amount. And when prices are higher, that doesn't mean someone's going to flood and empty their vault full of gold.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it doesn't solve that supply problem.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Yeah, so, and also, good money is a store of value.
Correct.
Good money is a store of value, and he talks about that, you know, hard money, good money, we use those interchangeable, needs to be a good store of value, meaning that when you get that money, if it's good, it goes up, or at least stays the same, right? I go ahead.
I would say I would throw something on there. I would say if it's a true asset, it's a good store of value.
Agree.
Because every good asset is a great store of value.
Agree. 100%.
You talk about home prices. You talk about precious metals. You talk about quality stocks. You talk about if those things are good stores of your value, they are an asset to you.
100%.
You see what I'm saying? So that's my problem with the dollar. That's why I don't believe in just saving, because it's not a good store of value. Yeah. Because of inflation, because the government playing games, because they steady printing trillions. If I got a rare pair of J's, they valuable, but if they make them in mass quantities, if everybody can get them,
now you got
and if
Shaqs.
they constantly print them, you got some Marberries,
some Starberries,
some Starberries.
Got some
you know what I'm saying? You don't have no Jordans no more.
Yeah.
So that's what they do with dollars. I read there's more than 12 billion $1 bills in rotation. That's just $1 bills.
We were talking about this earlier. This was a shock to me. This may be a shock to some of y'all. I was talking to my little brother. He was telling me minimum wage.
Man, stop it.
It's still $7 and something.
Stop it, man.
I didn't know that. I just assumed it had went up since the time I was in high school, bro.
Stop it. That price of that burger went up, bro.
Bro, the price of everything else.
You mean to tell me for an hour of my work,
$7
I can't get a combo from McDonald's?
No, you cannot.
I can't get a combo.
Not a combo. You gotta hit that. I don't even know if the value menu no more.
The dollar menu ain't even $1 no more.
It's a $250 menu.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
$250 menu now.
So
bro.
you gotta think. I'm trading 60 minutes of labor, and I can't even get
a combo.
A combo.
I really don't know if you could get a combo. So I'm being dead sick.
I know from Jack in the Box you can't, because I used to get a jumbo jack with cheese and 2 tacos. I know you can't. You can't get it. I had it down to a T. That bacon ultimate cheeseburger with a lemonade. That was a number 10. I had it down pat. I knew the price.
Took you longer than a man.
Nah, it took you imagine trading 60 minutes of work.
And you can't get the combo.
Combo.
That right there should hit home.
Come on, man, stop it.
Until you really, and that's what we stress it, because until you buy into that, till you realize the price of living go up, inflation continues to happen, and they ain't raised they haven't raised minimum wage to match that in years upon years upon years. Mm-hmm. So you setting up to fail, right? You setting up to fail. That's why all of this ties into Bitcoin.
You also setting up to raise the crime rate.
Yeah, you got to. I got to eat.
Can't afford nothing. I can't afford to live.
So what does that have to do with Bitcoin? Everything. Yeah. It is a new form of money.
Right.
It is a new form of digital currency. So if nothing else, you should at least lean in a little bit with your ear. In 2020, the U.S. government had been issuing a lot of debt, mm-hmm. and the Federal Reserve had been buying most of it with freshly printed money. This is mm-hmm. called debt monetization, mm-hmm. and it means that the U.S. dollar will continue to rapidly lose purchasing power.
Yeah, the grand theft.
Yeah,
that's what I call grand theft.
Yeah,
that's larceny.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Governmental grand theft.
Right.
I wouldn't have a problem with governments printing more money if they were more solid about where it's going.
Right.
Putting $8 million on underwater sea monkey programs and all this what they say, pork belly stuff that's written into these bills.
You got to scrutinize them.
This wasteful spending and all of that. Like, I wouldn't have a problem if they posted on the government website, whitehouse.gov or whatever. Hey, bro, this the spending bill. Everybody can click on it. Everybody can see this is what we spending money. And we could just scrutinize exactly what they spending that money on. Make it plain.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cause the truth of the matter is you stealing from us.
Mm-hmm.
When my dollar that, let's say I did want to save, it's not going to buy me what it would before COVID.
Right.
Because you steady printing and you steady running the inflation up, you're stealing from me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you going to say, hey man, I know we had to spend it, but we put this on Rose, we spent it all. Here go the receipts. Like, and you know, and you can prove to me exactly where it went, I might have less of a problem. Still won't like you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna want to swallow your eye. Right. Because you actually did something with the money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the issue I have. That wasteful spending. Put that on top of that. Everybody ready for a new system, dog.
Yeah. And this is looking like
it was a period of time when people was like, bring back the gold standard, So it was a rallying cry about that. But now this might be the alternative.
So we talked about how great gold is, right? But also we mentioned gold is difficult to store.
Correct.
It talked about in 1933, the U.S. government actually confiscated its citizens' gold holdings.
Another grand theft larceny.
Right? Gold is difficult and expensive to verify. That's what we talked about. Mm-hmm. Gold is difficult to divide. We talked about that as well. For as you know, it can do all of these things, but it's not as easy to just bust down a brick of gold. You know what I'm saying? And it's also expensive to mine. Book also says gold has gone up by just 1.80% per year on average, like we talked about. In contrast that with the U.S. dollar, whose supply went up 26% just in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So
12 months.
Right. So what this does is it brings us to rocking a hard spot, right? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, gold is this great, you know, it has these great principles, but in the modern age of where we are with the internet and everything being digital, it's just not as practical, right? Mm-hmm. Then we understand the dollar is no good. So then what do? Q Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There are some things like there's some people who mine gold in smaller quantities now. There's a divisibility problem. If you want to sell, if you don't want to sell a whole ounce, they making gold. I've never bought anything smaller than an ounce of gold or silver, but there are companies that make real gold, minted, U.S. mint, but they're in smaller quantities now because the price of gold
is so high,
1,800 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So that's not practical.
Right.
Like, what if I don't need to? Like, what if I want to trade something in, right? If I want to purchase something, but I don't need to trade a whole ounce in, right? That's the problem. I had the same problem with silver. Like, I got 10-ounce bars, but what if I want to trade in something, but I might not need the whole 10?
Right. You just want, 5 off there, the 4.
So I started buying ones too. But then it becomes like dollars.
Right.
Like you bust a 10 and you just got the ones to go with it. In theory, the portability, the divisibility problem, it becomes just like dollars then. You see what I'm saying? I had that issue before because I was trying to make an investment and I took silver and cashed it out. But I'm like, do I take a 10 bar? Or do I take one? Like, how much do I really need? You see what I'm saying? I literally ran into that problem myself. So I can tell you, like, it's real. You got to think about it like, damn, man, I really don't need it. And then I got the extras. If I might need only 2 ounces worth of the money. But if I cash a whole 10-ounce bar, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to just blow the other one. It's just going to be sitting.
Because it ain't the price it was when you first bought it.
Correct.
Right. That's a real thing.
And when you buy in smaller quantities of the precious metals, gold and silver, you get taxed more on the premium. You get a better price point when you buy more ounces.
Like everything else.
Yeah.
Because we talked about that before, and Jay hit on it about you want to actually buy the real thing. You don't want to buy
no dummies
stock in somebody that say they holding gold physical. And all that. Yeah.
Just how you want your money to be physical.
Right.
You know what it is? Same thing. You want physical ownership. No ETFs on gold and silver.
Right.
Yeah.
So what that brings us to is what we talked about, Bitcoin. It brings us to Bitcoin, right? So unlike gold, we talked about it before, the ultimate maximum supply of Bitcoin. We know that. We know it's the ultimate maximum supply. There will only be 21 million Bitcoins. This supply cap is built into the software code.
Right.
So I talked with somebody about that recently. What that means is that, what does that mean? It means that it's limited, so it'll continue to rise in value. It's built into the software code. So if a person goes in and you can't do it, but all the computers running the software would all have to unanimously, in essence, agree on this software code change, and a lot of other things would have to happen in addition to that. And that makes absolutely no sense because then it devalues the whole system. So why would I sign a bill to decrease the value of my house? You know what I'm saying?
Because you are benefiting from mining.
I'm benefiting from mining.
So if you're a computer that mines it and you're mining something that's limited, the whole point of you mining is to get something that's limited.
Exactly. And mining is expensive.
Yes, it is.
Mining is
expensive. And it's hard work.
Yeah, it's hard work and it's expensive. And so mining is that process of solving the algorithm, solving the problem. So you don't just do it on your phone. You know, you have to have a certain specialized computer. Yeah. It takes a lot of electricity, and it's a process. You know what I'm saying? It's a process, and so you have to. You're trying to profit off of it because your electricity bill gonna run up. You invested this equipment, you invested the time, you got to get the program, you got to set it up, so it's an expensive process. So anybody in this game, they ain't coming and they're not playing around to be able to do it. They've really put time, effort, and money into the process of mining.
Correct.
And mining, like I said, that's how you get to Bitcoin. That's what they call it. So the details of mining you can look up, you know what I'm saying, and check it out. But I don't think it's important to get bogged down because this is what people say. I don't understand.
Yep.
I don't get it.
Charlemagne and Envy and all that on the Breakfast Club, they said it.
But how many people understand the process of the U.S. Treasury?
Who? I mean, I tried to explain it to them, but they didn't understand.
How many people understand the process of the U.S. Treasury? How many people understand how they alternator and they starter work? You know what I'm saying? To make their car power. How many people understand?
People don't understand stocks. So I know you ain't gonna understand crypto.
So I'm not saying be a dummy. I'm saying, well, what we say to each other.
Do you know enough to proceed?
Do you know enough to proceed? As we proceid,
to give you what you need.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, that's the thing that you ask yourself, because I don't want our people to miss out on the opportunity, because it is an opportunity.
It is an opportunity.
It's an opportunity of a lifetime, right? I don't want us to miss out because I don't understand it. I don't get it. I can't see it. What I'm saying is those are not valid excuses, because most of us don't understand the U.S. Treasury and how our economic system works. We really think that dollar worth the dollar, not understand that the dollar is a loan given out from the bank based on a few dollars that they have, and that most of what we call money is actually debt and credit, right? Like, so what I'm saying is, you can't say, you know what I'm saying, now I want to play it safe. You know what I'm saying? I want to play it safe. So since I don't understand that, I'm not messing with it. I'm just saying you don't understand this either, and it's you messing with it, and it's not as good for you. So let's do something else.
You know how many people are working and don't understand their 401k? If you're talking about
unfortunately
what people don't understand,
unfortunately,
imagine working 30 years
and you hope it's there
and contributing to a plan that you don't understand.
I hope it's there,
and you hope it's there, and you never call the company, you never call your representative. Your representative then died. You don't even know who signed you up at the beginning. They ain't there. Imagine going through your whole working life, and you really don't even understand your plan. And then when you get close to retirement, 1 or 2 years out, then you say, man, let me go here and look.
Let me see what's up in there.
What I got in there.
Man, I'm passionate about that, because that's what a lot of my people say. Yeah, I don't see it though. I don't.
People call me and ask me,
touch it. I can't touch it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can't touch the internet, but you trying to say it's not powerful? You're not trying to say you don't use it? You can't touch the internet. You know what I'm saying? You can't physically touch air. It's a lot of important things, you know what I'm saying, that you can't physically touch. But the question is it there? Is it valuable? Is it trusted? Is it divisible? Is it a medium of exchange? That's the questions that you have to ask.
Does it check those off?
Right. Does it check those off? If you can answer those questions, then this might be something you should lean in on. You feel me?
I hate to keep going back to this, but trustworthiness, bro. Jay, you more like Warren Buffett and Munger. Why you mess with Bitcoin?
Trustworthiness. Yeah.
The government wish they could have the trustworthiness that Bitcoin has on the blockchain. Like you can look at digital addresses and you can see who owns this amount. It's wide open. You can't see a person's name, but you can trust the blockchain technology. You can trust. It's trustworthy, bro.
It's impossible to take away someone's Bitcoin if they refuse to give you their recovery seed and private key.
Right.
On episode 1, we talked about that a little bit, and basically what this is, it's like your account numbers and your passwords, but they're all, only you know them. So if you don't give that information, then nobody can get it. Bitcoin provides digital and cryptographic security without having to use a trusted third party, right? And so Bitcoin it's easy to see in Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is divisible. It's all of these things that we mentioned before that make something hard money, or that makes something good money. And Bitcoin is a global currency, right? That was the thing that turned me up about it. Bitcoin is a global currency, meaning whether you in Mombasa, Kenya, you know what I'm saying?
New Delhi, India,
or Houston, Texas in the States, right? It's the same price as it is there, as just it like is here. Just like gold and just like silver.
Y'all know I don't like banks. I don't even know how y'all playing, bro. Like, do you trust the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Because it says when I deposit money into my bank account, I'm trusting that a bank will keep it safe.
Mm-hmm.
If the bank fails, I'm trusting that the FDIC to pay me back for my losses. If I hold my wealth in U.S. dollars at the bank, I'm also trusting that the U.S. government not to seize my assets, and I am trusting the Federal Reserve not to destroy my money's purchasing powers through too much money printing. Well, Bitcoin, you don't have to trust it because it's in your hands.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the part that got me like, everything is in your hands, Jay.
Right.
That's what won me over.
That's good. Yeah, and so we talked about we talked about what Bitcoin is and how you mine it and that process, right? We talked about hard money versus soft money as it relates to gold, and then going into crypto, right? And so at some point in time, if you listen to this first part and go, okay, all right, I can kind of see how, how that makes sense. The shift came for me when I start comparing, right? When I start going, okay, starting today, let me look at the history of my dollar and let me follow it.
Ooh, don't do that.
Let me look at the history of my dollar and follow it, and let me do the same thing to Bitcoin. When you start seeing where your dollar came from, meaning how much it was worth then, and then how much it's worth now, and how much it's going to be worth continuously, and you look at what Bitcoin was worth, what it is now, and the projections, you have to lean in, if nothing else, to better understand how you can be a part of it. I'm not telling you go put all your money in Bitcoin tomorrow or nothing like that.
No, he only says 1%.
1%. Yeah.
So, like I said, Bitcoin can do what the dollar can't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if there's anything, all this money printing, all of that's great for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Because the more money printing is, the more the value of your Satoshis, which is your pieces of Bitcoin, the more they're going to be worth.
Right.
It's the same with gold. I know it's the same thing with precious metals, because that's why I buy precious metals. I'll tell you. That's why I save in silver. It's a hedge against that. So it's for the same exact reason. I just found a digital version
of that hedge.
Yeah.
So at the time of this book being wrote in 2020, Bitcoin had a market cap of 500 billion. It's more than that now.
Yep.
Which was the size of a large S&P 500 company. When we talked about the S&P 500, it's the top 500 companies in the United States. In a few years, Bitcoin, this is his prediction, Bitcoin will surpass gold's market cap of 11 trillion. At that point, one Bitcoin will be worth more than 500,000. He believes eventually Bitcoin's market cap will exceed the global stock market at 100 trillion and global bond market also 100 trillion. At that point, it probably won't even make sense to quote in Bitcoin in US dollars anymore. Did I not tell you this? Hold on. Did I not talk to you about this before we even read this book, bro? I was telling Jay, at some point in time, it's going to be pointless to even talk about how much a Bitcoin is worth, because it's just going to be so dumb that they're going to have to start just talking in Satoshis or Sats, which is what Jay was just saying is that breakdown.
I don't know. There's some cap on that. You know what I'm saying?
You think so?
Like, it's some cap on that. I think it's going to pass gold's market cap of 11 trillion.
Okay.
But the market cap of the global stock market, you talking about in all the exchanges put together.
That's what Matthew Kratter say, man.
I think that's a little cap. That's a little Captain
say.
Crunch. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's a little Captain Crunch, because it's not. Well, to tell the people, market cap is related to market value, how much it's worth, right? I think it's going to constantly rise because of its scarcity, right? That's what we saying. That's what's wrong with the dollar. The dollar is not scarce. The dollar is infinite. You can just keep printing. But in order to pass all of those market caps, it would have to drain all of those market caps. Because remember, money is currency. It just moves from one asset class to the next asset class. Is this Bitcoin asset blowing up? Is crypto asset class blowing up? Yes. But that money has to come from somewhere to move into that to swell up that market cap.
Right.
Which means that there's no way everyone's going to take it. That would be a collapse, in my opinion, of the global stock market. And there's too many things tied to the global stock market in order for it to swell up, surpass that. Now, it'll swell up past gold.
Now, what if it's not that it eclipses the stock market in terms of knocking it off, but what if part of that is due to the fact that it's now a part of, right? The way that Bitcoin is not currently incorporated into the U.S. or global economy, right? Like how you have real estate is included in the stock market because you have REITs.
Well, I'm glad you said that, my wise friend, because I was reading today that there's a Bitcoin ETF coming out.
That's what they taught. That's what I hear.
Yeah, so
that's what I hear.
And watch your Bitcoins, by the way. If they watch your Bitcoins because they have a where they gonna get the Bitcoins from.
Right.
If they're gonna make an ETF, ETF is just a derivative. So you got gold and silver ETFs, right? Those are just derivatives of what supposedly they have mining. Those are futures, right? Yeah. So in the future, we'll have this much Bitcoin that you should be able to cash it out. Watch your Bitcoin, bro. How you gonna do that with Bitcoin? Like, where you gonna get it from? It's like, unless somebody pools and just buy a whole bunch of coins. Yeah. How else would you? If it's in limited quantity, you can't have futures. Right. Watch it. They be playing all kind of games, man. You gotta watch it. They'll sell you all flour.
I believe it.
They're gonna sell you some gold medal flour, man. I'm telling you.
I think part of that is not. This is projection. I'm not saying that, this is sparring, financial sparring. I don't know if it will or it won't, but I think that it's the ways of inclusion, because that's the only way. The internet doesn't become the internet without all of us using it. Right. It has to be inclusion from the government to corporations to the consumers. It has to become mass adoption. Right. That's how it happens. And so I think with Bitcoin, it has to the same way. If someone told us years ago about the cannabis industry, right? If they told us the value of we wouldn't be thinking about the value of the cannabis industry based on it being included into stock exchanges. Right. So now we can have projected valuations of ungrown cannabis, because that's how the stock market, it short term is a voting machine. So today, what is it? Aurora cannabis is worth $100 a share. You feel what I'm saying? Because now it's included versus just the assumed price of all of the connects. How much all the connects, what I'm saying, what they whipping up, what I mean? So I think that when you start thinking about that kind of stuff, man, it can get real fun if you in the game.
It doesn't matter. We arguing, but it doesn't really matter. Just get you some Bitcoin. You're gonna ride the wave. You're gonna ride the wave anyway. If it do go to the moon, that's good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I got it. That's good.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. Dope. Last thing he says, everyone underestimates. I love this. He said everyone underestimates how dominant and all encompassing the internet would become. It's hard to remember now, but he says, I witnessed it firsthand for many years. The same is true of Bitcoin. Bitcoin future is much bigger and brighter than even most Bitcoin bulls believe. Remember, the bulls believe it's going up. Bears believe it's going down. And so that's something that we said on the podcast, and I believe in wholeheartedly, is that we always overestimate technology or emerging markets in the beginning. Right, we hear about electronic vehicles and Tesla and automation, and we like, why the cars ain't driving by themselves right now? we overestimate, and then we underestimate what that looks like in 20 or 30 years. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, that's chapter 1. Is Bitcoin actually money? I think you know how we feel. The question is, how do you feel?
Yeah, man, here's my final thought. The dollar that you have is trash. So let me sum it up for you. Why not put it in Bitcoin anyway? If you're saying that this right here is of limited supply. So you're trading something that's infinite for something that's limited. You're always probably going to win like that.
Yeah, that's just ABC.
That's simple. Whatever. That's simple investing, man. They keep printing this thing. They hit a button, boop, print out a trillion more. You can't do that with Bitcoin. No. It's limited. Nobody can do it. That right there makes it worth buying, in my opinion. That's Jay with the NBA.
I love it, man. So on the next chapter that we
we're talking about price targets for
Bitcoin, and they some
them numbers is
just
make sure you come back for the next episode.
Some of them, you know what I'm saying? And it's a scientific breakdown of how they get there.
He was surgical with it, Jay.
Yeah. Like, it's a scientific breakdown.
Surgical with it.
And them boys been tracking. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to know how much your Bitcoin might be worth 5, 10, 15 years from now, make sure you come back for the next episode, because we're going to let that fly. Make sure that you signed up for Patreon and you getting this fire from Patreon, and that you rocking with us on social platforms. We're real heavy on Instagram. Follow Literacy Kings, man. Until next time, we are the Literacy Kings. Love.
We appreciate you listening to the podcast. But if you want more and you like what you heard, make sure you go to literacykings.com.
And become a patron. Make sure you sign up to Patreon so you can get new, exclusive, unreleased content, early access to all the shows, and discount codes for all the merch.